and welcome back to the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, episode 7, Much Ado About Hunting. My name is Regina Ruiz Ordonez, and I'm from the Canadian University Shooting Federation. Joining me today, as always, are Casey Gavinchuk from Lady Guns and Kelly Melanson from Maple Seed Project, Sunfire Radio, and CCFR Women's Program. Unfortunately, we're missing Deneen for today. I know she's enjoying her time, but we'll see her next month. So next, I would just like to thank our sponsors. I would like to thank Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, positively shaping the future of the outdoors. Savage Arms, home to the Stevens single-shot rifles and shotguns. Beretta, family-owned and operated since 1526. And Vortex, the best in optics. If you have any questions or comments throughout the show, make sure to leave them in the chat box below. Doing so will automatically enter you in the draw for today's giveaway. We have a prize from Just Hunt today, but I will let our guest today let us know more about it. So without any further ado, Kelly, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. Okay. So Kelly, can you please introduce our guest for today?
Okay, perfect. So I want to say a special warm welcome to Amanda Lynn Mayhew of Just Hunt. She is somebody that you probably, if you've been living under a rock, might not know about. But anyways, Amanda Lynn is a creator for Just Hunt, That Hunting Girl, and also Take Me Hunting, fishing, shooting, and programs. Just hold on a second here. Amanda Lynn is a fantastic lady, by the way, and it's our pleasure to have her on the show for today. Her passion includes also fitness for fun, and it's combined with her outdoor skills, and she actually is a perfect mentor for hunters of all ages, especially for women. Her TV show has been entertaining and educating people and entertaining Canadians since 2016, and her social media presence is actually quite impressive and prolific. Amanda Lynn has been organizing women's range days since 2011, and she's basically a leader in the field of taking women to the range and teaching them about shooting, and also becoming more independent and also becoming strong, independent women, as I said. As a young woman, actually, she proved her worth as actually an athlete. She was an inspirational speaker, or she is an inspirational speaker. She's an angler. She does power sports enthusiast as well. If you actually you'd obviously hunting as well, and she likes to pass on that passion to the future generations too. Amanda Lynn has been diagnosed with Graves' disease, and that was in 1998, and she's given her efforts to bringing awareness and on this disease as well. Amanda Lynn has had basically, she embraces hunting, her hunting roots, and takes that message to everyone, and does that through her programs that she's been. She's an incredible outdoor enthusiast, but also a spokesperson for the hunting sports as well. I did that on the fly. Sorry. So as I said, Amanda Lynn, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know that when I reached out to you, I said, "Hey, are you interested in coming on?" So she shoots. I think you were out in the bush, or you're about to go out in the bush, and you said, "Absolutely love to do it. Just tell me when and where."
Yeah, I was actually spring bear hunting when you reached out to me. So I was deep in the bush.
Literally. And you also were quite successful in that. So that's part of the reason why we actually asked you to come on. So
great.
Before we get into the hunting piece of it, let's talk about your background a little bit. Now, I did say a little bit in the introduction, but I wanted to leave it up to you because you have such an interesting background as well. And you come from a family that is they're hunters as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you got into how you became the face of, or how you became the hunting girl.
Wow. How much time do we have?
Well, okay.
No, I was born and raised in Northern Ontario in a small remote town, Manitouwadge. And my dad was always hunting and always in the outdoors, and my mom loved to fish. So it was just a no-brainer. They were always taking us camping, and my dad would take me hunting because I was older. My sister was younger. And I got to, go on the mini bikes and go grouse hunting with him and drive around in the bush. And that I graduated to three-wheelers when I was in my teens. And yeah, just hung
You're
out
a
with my
country
dad
girl.
and fishing with my mom, and we would do lots of that while we were camping. So we were always outdoors. The
Mhm.
whole family was always outdoors, and I raised my boys the same way. And we would go grouse hunting before I took them to school, after school, and just kept it going. And then when they were teenagers, they decided to go do their own thing, a bunch of little rock stars. And then now they're in their 20s and 30s, and they're coming back, and now it's all in the family, to be honest with you. My grandfather
Yeah.
was a moose guide in Northern Ontario. My one uncle is a moose and bear and fishing guide in Kenora currently, and has been for 30 years. My other uncle, these are all my mom's brothers, had his own fishing show in Thunder Bay, on Lake Superior for a couple of years. So it's all in the family.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So what I know about you and what I've seen from you is that you grew up in outdoor activities, including hunting, fishing, and you did that with your father and your mom, and then now you're passing it on to your children. Your children aren't children anymore; they're adults, and you actually and you're taking that and you're passing it on to other generations. You're passing on to women for other generations to take that up as well. So it's quite impressive, and it's admirable as well. So,
Thank you.
so how long specifically? When did you go out for your first hunt? How long have you been hunting?
Oh my God. I don't know. I'm 47 and I've been doing it my whole life.
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say 29 plus experience.
29.
Yeah.
Been doing it for 40 years.
So, but it's been a while, has it?
It's been a long time. Yeah. I mean, all the stories I have with my dad are mostly about hunting.
Yeah.
And most of the stories I have about my mom are either her in the truck coming hunting with me. She would never actually, she only pulled the trigger once on a bird, and she said she would never do that again. She'll just passenger and take pictures. But most of the stories I have with my mom are fishing, and same with my boys. So they have lots of memories and experiences with my parents. And most of them are fishing with my mom and dad and my sister as well. So, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if you went through my photo albums,
Yeah,
80% of it is outside. It's camping, fishing, and hunting.
yeah, that's yeah. It's beautiful pictures to see. It's building memories also with your family too. So
Yeah, and you can remind your children, like, hey, remember when we went out and we sat in that tree stand for 7.5 hours, and it was your first bear hunting experience, and you wanted to leave, and the second you got up to go, that's when the bear came in. And Mackenzie's like, yeah. And then he shot his first bear when he was 12 years old. But
wow.
if I ask him, hey, remember that first video game I ever bought you? He's never going to know.
No.
He's never going to remember.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. What happened? How did you transition into TV? How did you become that hunting girl or just hunts?
It's a funny story because I always said I would never be on TV. And I said I would never want to do TV. It was just something I never wanted to do. And I was already in the media for fitness and bodybuilding.
Yep.
So I was doing body figure shows, and I was always like, I had my own fitness magazine, and I was featured in Oxygen magazine and stuff like that, but I was always still hunting. So social media came around. Facebook started in 2007, and I was always posting, I'm going hunting, going on my moose hunt, my bear hunt, whatever. And I was I still am friends with senior editor of Outdoor Canada magazine, Patrick Walsh, and we would bat ideas back and forth on different articles, and I'd ask him questions and stuff. And I was in the fitness genre. He was in the, obviously, fishing and hunting genre. And they had put together a women's panel back in 2011 at the Outdoor Canada show, and it was a notable women's panel for hunting. So there was Vanessa Harrop, can't remember another lady, myself and Mariko Azumi, and we had all been up, and we, we were interviewed by them, and that was an hour-long panel. And from that, it just kind of snowballed into, Bass Pro. I was there signing autographs, got into Cabela's. I was ambassador for Cabela's for quite a few years. And then I went to SHOT Show. And the boys from Wild TV said, Amanda, we want to talk to you. And I was like, okay,
That's
sure.
awesome.
Let's talk. And they pitched this new series called Canada Hunts to me. And I said, no, I said, no, I said, no. And then they're like, well, all you have to do is just hunt. And I was like, hey,
that's a great name. Just hunt.
And it was always a name that I had already been using it previous to them coming up with this idea. So I was like, all I have to do is just hunt. Like, that's it. I don't have to do anything crazy. And they're like, nope, we'll send a cameraman. And you just do your thing and don't worry about nothing else. And that's what started it. And yeah, I did 2 seasons of 3 episodes each in 2016 and 2017. And it was so well received that they gave me a full season, 12 episodes that 3rd year. And then after that, I flipped over to Sportsman Channel, and we wanted to rebrand it because we didn't want to confuse the viewers by having it just hunt on Sportsman Channel. And I was in a grocery store one day, and this guy walked by, and he's like, hey, there goes that hunting girl. And I'm like, oh, that's a fantastic name. So we hemmed and hawed about that, and it ended up being a great brand, a great name for the show. And here we are today.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's fantastic. All right, let's get in a little bit about hunting. I will bring it back, by the way. We'll circle back on some of this, talking about just hunt and the hunting girl. But I did want to get into specifically talking about hunting, because that's what the episode is about tonight. So what type of hunting do you typically do? Do you do certain things? Are you a bear? Do you go out for, well, we did talk about spring bear, so obviously you do that. What other types of hunting do you do?
Anything I can get a tag for.
Okay.
But deer hunting, moose, turkey, elk, the different kinds of deer. So there are different seasons, and there are different deer in different provinces depending on where I am. So, but those are and grouse hunting. But for the gist of it, big game animals.
Big game. Okay.
Yep.
So you'll travel then for the hunting. You'll go to the various provinces. Have you done any goal hunts, like trophy hunts in specific here in Canada, at least?
No,
nothing yet.
No, not. If I end up harvesting a larger animal and it ends up being a quote unquote trophy, then bonus. But I'm not. That's not how I was raised. My dad taught us that what you shoot, you eat, and it's if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's still meat in the freezer.
It's ethical hunting. That's fantastic. That's where I think that we why a lot of more people are getting into shooting specifically or hunting is with price of groceries, but also they want to know where their food is being sourced from. So I think that ethical hunting is an amazing way to go as well. So what is your favorite though? What types of, is it deer or elk?
My God, they're all my favorite for different reasons though. So bear hunting is at the top of the list because the whole bear strong thing too. But bear hunting for me, bears are strong. Every one of them has a different personality, and you can sit in the stand or you can watch from a mountain or whatever, and just watch them for hours and study them almost, and take the shot if you choose, don't take the shot if you don't. It's still such an experience. And I love taking new hunters out for bear as their first big game. It's adrenalizing. I don't know. I've never had a horrible experience out bear hunting. I've had bears lick the barrel of my guns. I walk towards bears. It's just, bear hunting is exciting for me, and I love bear meat, and there's so much that you could do with the fur and the fat and everything that goes with it. So bear hunting is definitely up there. Elk hunting was my new favorite.
Was what replaced it. Okay, let's go back. Why was elk so fantastic, and then how did it get replaced?
Animals are majestic, and when you hear your first bugle, the hairs everywhere are going to stand up. And it is such an incredible sound. It is such a huge animal and such beautiful. And well, I mean, it tastes really good too. So hunting hard for an elk in the very first year that I did it, and being able to successfully harvest that elk on the day that it happened, and just how it went down, it was so
Memorable.
perfect.
Yeah.
But then last year I went mule deer hunting, and it was running through the coulees of southern Alberta with a bow. That that's addicting. That kiboshes almost every other hunt out there. I'm completely addicted to that. And it's so much fun and exhilarating, and you better be fit.
Well, we are going to talk about that a little bit on how you actually keep fit so that you can do all this. But so not only do you use firearms, you also use bow in your hunts as well. So
I'm mostly a gun girl, though.
Yeah. So what is your favorite gun? What do you typically use?
My grandfather's 30-06 Weatherby is what was passed down to me. It's what I harvested my first big game with, and my son also with his first bear was with the 30-06 too. So
Wow.
I just got my spring bear with the same firearms. And then my second one would be my Rocky Mountain rifle, 6.5 PRC that Corleane's made for me, custom. It's a beautiful gun, especially for the range.
That's amazing. What about so with the bow, what are you using?
I'm using APA Archery, Canadian made, and this bow is incredible because it's like the Swiss Army knives of bows. It has so many things on it that every archer needs.
That's amazing. So, well, let's talk about it a little bit. So those are your favorite firearms that you use, and those as well as the bow. But you did talk about running through the coulees, and you actually have, and that's how you actually got into well, prior you were a fitness model and you were big into health. What types of things are you doing right now to keep you fit?
To keep me fit, so I run 5 or 10K in the morning, and then I do push-ups. I do lots of push-ups. You can find me doing push-ups everywhere, anywhere, all the time. And then I shoot my bow. And that is, so right now I'm training for my September hunt.
Okay.
So I just started doing the like 5, 10K in the morning. And then as soon as I come back, I drop and I do 10 push-ups as fast and as best as I can. And I get up and I shoot 3 arrows. And I don't really care where those arrows are going per se. Like, I'm not trying to shoot a small target. I'm just getting used to pulling the bow back and training for that.
Right. Training how you hunt as well, because you may have to actually, as you said, you might have to run through a coulee and then take your shot.
And that's exactly what happened to me last year. So I had to run, and then I had dropped to my knees and then pull it back. So I kind of do the same thing. And when we're training for that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter if it's with a firearm or if it's with a bow. You have to be prepared in any situation. You could be shooting from a sitting position, laying down, on your knees, standing up. It doesn't matter. So
yeah. So what type of, you said that you're training for the hunt. So what other things besides the running, and what's your routine like? So you run in the morning, and then you do your 10 push-ups, and then you do your bow. But what other things do you like to do to train for the hunt?
I love to skip, so I jump rope a lot. I just got back into my roller skates, and so because I'm healing a broken foot and the tendons in my ankle are all kind of funny, so I'm stretching them by roller skating and doing different exercises on my roller skates. I squat. I do planks with so I'll do a one-handed plank. So I'll put one hand down, and then I'll take this hand and I'll pull weights up. So that's for your back. Just during the day, I'm such a busy person. So we have a farm and like a homestead. So animals and gardens and stuff like that. So you're constantly shoveling and working, using the saws and doing things like that are automatically keeping you fit. Wood, cutting, splitting, piling, carrying, there's wheelbarrows, there's all kinds of stuff. So where my sister is a CrossFit fanatic and coach, and she's a dedicated, workout of the day, running and stuff. I just find time throughout my day to do the things that I need to do. So I could be standing in the kitchen waiting for my coffee to warm up, and I'll do like 30 squats right there. Or, those are just some examples.
Yeah.
So I don't get up in the morning and have a dedicated workout of the day. I look at my sisters and go, oh, darn, I should do that.
I think you do a great job with doing it already. I've seen you, whether it's at the Toronto Sportsman Show, and you get down on the ground and do a couple of planks and squats and all that. And you're also doing it with other people too, and you're encouraging them to do it. So it's fantastic. But can you tell people about why it's important to have that health and fitness, especially if you're going hunting? Like the reason why you need to actually be fit when you go out into the middle of the forest, because guess what happens in your hunting? Guess what happens?
There's so many different reasons. First of all, you want to be the best that you can be, and you need to have that stamina and endurance if you're doing an active hunt. But not only that, if it's just you by yourself, you only have you to rely on, and you don't want anything poor to happen to yourself. So be in the best shape that you can. And not only you're climbing tree stands, you're carrying equipment, you got to pull that animal out if you are successful. Help your buddy do it. Do lots of hiking, climbing, running. There's all kinds of, and so you want to be in the best shape that you can. And
Absolutely.
Medically too, take care of yourself. And just because you're diagnosed with something that anything, there's a way to get over it, or a way to deal with the struggles, and just keep punching forward. So just find those ways and do it.
That's just moving forward. So tell us where so people who are listening, they might not know where you're located. I think that if you tell people that in general terms, so you're located here in Ontario, correct?
Yep. Southern Alberta. Would confuse you. No, Southern Ontario.
Yeah. Anyways.
Southern
So you do most of your hunting out of this area, but you will, like, as you said, you went to Alberta.
Don't. Actually, the only hunts that I really do in Southern Ontario, a little bit of deer.
Okay.
And everything else is Northern Ontario. Yeah. So, bear hunting. I have hunted bears, like Powassan area and stuff like that. But for the most part, I go to Northern Ontario. I love it there. And I love it everywhere, but I really love it there.
It's more like home up there. Yeah.
It is. And that's the thing. I have family and friends, because I went to school all over up there, that I kind of get to hang out with them at the same time as doing my adventures, or I bring them on the adventures with me. So it's pretty exciting. And
that's, again, going back and building those memories and bringing people into the sport. Mm-hmm. It is a sport. But it's also, again, making memories. Those experiences, those resonate with you. You'll carry them with you as well. Any other places that you've traveled? Like, as I said, so you go north, you've gone to Alberta. Any other places that you've gone?
I've hunted in BC at Williams Lake. I've hunted Alberta, northern and southern Alberta. I've hunted Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Ontario, Quebec, and Florida.
Okay. What have you hunted in Florida?
Hogs. So
wild hogs. All right.
Yeah. So I got to actually go to Louisiana and build my very first firearm in Louisiana with Joe Moe. And then we traveled across to Florida and met up with my friends and my husband, and we went hog hunting.
That awesome.
It was pretty incredible, to tell you the truth. Everything that you can't do in Canada,
you were able to do in there, and you got to build your own firearm too. That's a great experience. How was that?
That was amazing. I got to pick all the different pieces exactly how I wanted it to turn out. I went with a 300 blackout caliber, and it turned out really good. And you know what? I even added a little bit of pink to it. So,
well, you gotta every once in a while, just a little bit. Just put it, even hiding it in there. So,
yeah, it turned out really good. It was lots of fun. And he even started the serial number with my initials, so that was
Oh,
pretty cool.
really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but I
Yeah.
couldn't bring it back in Canada, so I mean, he still has it.
Well, it just means you're just gonna have to go down there,
I know.
right?
So go back. Yeah.
Go back down frog hunting. What other memorable experiences have you had like that?
Well, this year was pretty interesting. November 9th, 2018, I shot my bull elk in Newfoundland. November 9th, 2019, I shot my bull elk in Alberta. November 9th, 2000. Okay, I can't remember the dates now, but it was three November 9th. Okay, sorry. November 9th, 2017, I shot my 12-point buck. November
Okay.
9th, 2018, I shot my bull moose. And November 9th, this past year, I shot another buck. And it was just something about that day. And when we were going through the episodes to put them together, it was like November 9th, November 9th, November 9th. I don't know what it is about that day, but it's crazy how a lot of my successful harvests have ended up on a special day. My wolf was shot on Friday the 13th. My bull elk was shot on my uncle's birthday, November 11th, which is Remembrance Day. So it's crazy how some of those dates just go and you don't forget. Like you just don't forget the dates.
It's something that you'll keep. Again, it's building memories. So I'm going to ask, are you going out on November 11th this year? Or sorry, November 9th this year?
Maybe the 9th and the 11th.
Okay, both. They're both successful.
I will actually be wolf hunting in Northern Ontario on that week. So yes, I will be going.
Yeah. I saw your picture of your wolf hunt, and it's great to go through your albums because quite frankly, it's quite inspirational. You there and harvesting, and yeah, it's just, and you also have other people there with you as well. Some of your friends and family. Yeah, it's great to go through your pictures, and also you're so excited and so happy, and it's like, look at what I've been able to do. So it's a sense of accomplishment. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. My favorite is being able to see someone else harvesting.
Yeah,
that is
isn't it? Isn't that? It's nice for your first hunt, but it's also nice to see somebody else have their first and the accomplishment that they get from it and the smile it brings to their face.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just did I'm sorry. I just did there was a camping weekend last weekend here in the area, and I did a seminar just on Saturday, and we were talking a little bit about the same idea. And I had one girl, her name is Kathy, and I took her bear hunting, and she has quite the story, but I took her and my girlfriend Candace bear hunting, and they both got their bears in their first trip. And it was crazy. Candace was like, hands down, I am not leaving this tree stand until a bear comes out. And she successfully got her bear just at the last light of the day. And the next day I told Candace, I said, me and Kathy are going out. We'll be back in an hour. And I was totally joking, but Kathy got her bear in an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're projecting all of this. This is actually a little, I don't know. Maybe you and I should go hunting together then.
We should actually.
I think we should as well.
Yeah. And Tracy, she's been talking about it for years.
I know. She's one of the busiest women I know, though. She's, yeah, but I think we can convince her of it. Yeah.
Well, I got her down to Village Days 2 years in a row.
I know, right? Yeah.
The next step is hunting.
Yes. You talked about it a little bit earlier, and we're talking about going out for bear hunts and all that. Let's talk about Bear Strong. What is Bear Strong?
Bear Strong is inner strength. So that's how I signify the two together. So for me, Graves' disease sucks. It sucks the energy out of you, makes you fat, blast, tired at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You just want to go to sleep. You can sleep standing up. And I never do. I don't nap during the day because I think I'm going to miss something. So bear hunting and being able to watch them for the number of years that I have and harvesting as many as I have and just watching them and studying them, and they're a strong animal and they figure it out. Like they're at bait or whatever, and they figure it out, and it doesn't matter how you rig that up, they just find a way to figure it out. And so that's what Bear Strong is about. You find a way to figure it out. You use your passion and dedication to whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't even matter if it's not hunting. Bear Strong goes for anything and for anybody. And that's just what it is. It's inner strength. Find your inner strength and give her.
Yeah. Part of Bear Strong, was it last year or a year before that you actually had a campaign where
the 2020 COVID.
Yeah, that was part of it. So do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because there was a lot of people who were participating in that specifically.
Oh my God, we had so many amazing people participating in that. So that was when COVID hit and everyone was, sad and emotional and things were going to hell in a handbasket. And people were coming up with their own campaigns. And Jason McCoy had come up with a We Are One, and they recorded a song about that. And at the same time, I was doing the Bear Strong campaign just to keep everybody inspired and keep them, their will high and just looking forward to whatever the future can bring. So I try to get everybody involved. We had so many different people. We had Ty Baton, we had Jason McCoy, we had Thomas Pigeon, yourself, Tracy Wilson, just everybody holding up a sign that said Bear Strong. And we put it together in a commercial and we played it on Sportsman Channel, and it was super inspirational. Awesome. Yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah. It was lots of fun too.
Yeah. It was fantastic to watch it because you saw all these different people, all different ages, and especially supporting those people that were working in the hospitals, and it was very inspirational. So thank you for doing that, and it did lift our spirits. I can tell you that people were sending things in droves, and it was awesome to watch all of these people.
It was something to look forward to. It was exciting, and
yeah.
Definitely lots of fun. I got to do that again.
I think you should. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about is you're a mentor, or you're somebody who people look up to. Who is that for you? Did you have anybody growing up that actually was an inspiration for you and sent you down that road to being Amanda Lynn Mayhew of Just Hunts?
My parents, for sure. My mom struggled for 15 years with chronic pain, and she put a smile on and her lip gloss and still did whatever she had to do. My dad, he was always, always running and working out and forcing us to do, well, not forcing us, but inspiring us to, do that. And my sister's a huge athlete. Chuck Norris. When I got diagnosed with Graves' disease and they gave me a whole bunch of pills to take and said, this is what's going to make you feel better, I was like, okay. And I took them for a bit and I'm like, this is garbage. And I got rid of them. And I was watching an infomercial at like 4:00 in the morning, and Chuck Norris was like working out on this Total Gym thing. And I was like, hey, I can get one of those things. Went to Walmart, bought one, started using it, changed my life. It totally changed me. And that was when I started bodybuilding, and I started the fitness magazine. And then I actually called the Total Gym to get them as a sponsor for the magazine. And I ended up getting the inventor's wife. And I talked to her, told her my story, and she asked me what I wanted. And I said, I would love to do an infomercial with Chuck Norris. And she laughed at me and she said, you have the biggest set of balls I've ever met on a woman. And a couple weeks later, she called me and invited me to Houston to have dinner with Chuck and Gina. And I've been going ever since. Well, except the last 2 years, I've been going ever since. And so he's got a gala called Kickstart Kids, and he does a fundraiser to help children get into martial arts if their parents can afford it or whatever, right? So Chuck Norris is super inspirational to me. Thomas Pigeon, he is the creator of hunting documentary shows Hello Canada in the Rough.
Yeah.
Him. And now he's like, I don't know, he's like one of my best friends. I can call him about anything, and he always has like the best advice. And then I gotta say Mike Miller from Angler and Hunter Television. He's definitely one of my mentors as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Now, people don't know it. You're a huge angler as well. I've seen you. Well, you just recently were out in BC and fishing, weren't you?
I was sturgeon fishing in BC.
You were first.
I,
Was that your first time catching a sturgeon?
yes, it was.
How was that? Tell me about that.
I want to go back tomorrow. It was fun. It was so much fun. And they're incredible, incredible to catch and to touch and to be able to get into the water and get so close to them. And they're so prehistoric, and to learn about them and teach other people about them now, because now I know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
I'm always learning. Like almost every adventure I go on, I'm always learning something, because I'm always taking on these new crazy experiences. So
Oh, it's fantastic. It means that you can tell people about it and encourage. Let's be real. You are somebody who is quite well known, and um, if you can talk about it and encourage other people to do it, it means that they're going to be able to get out there and have those same types of experiences and same types of memories. So, it's,
yeah.
yeah, that's incredible. So you're becoming somebody's inspiration then.
It's pretty overwhelming when I'm at the Toronto Sportsman Show or any show, or even on the sidewalk, and someone comes out of their vehicle screaming my name, or
Amanda
the kids
Lynn.
running down the hallway and they're like, Amanda. I have to double check to make sure they're talking to me. It's overwhelming, it's humbling, it's exciting all at the same time, because I remember when I used to go to the Sportsman Show and stand in line to meet Mike Miller and Thomas Peugeot and Bob Azumi and all these
Yeah.
guys, you know and
Yeah.
now they're like my buddies.
Yeah. Speaking of the Toronto Sportsman Show, aren't you the official spokesperson for the Toronto Sportsman Show?
I have been the official ambassador for the Sportsman Show for a
Yeah.
number of years, and it has been an exciting position to have, because the Toronto Sportsman Show has my full heart. I love everything that it has to do with the vendors, the people, just everybody. And watching those children grow over the last 8 years from when I first met them to how they are today is my favorite part. So it brings the whole industry and the community together under one roof, and allows you to meet so many interesting individuals, whether they're behind the counter or they're a consumer. And it's an incredible place. And so, yeah, I've loved being a part of it for as long as I have, and the logistics behind it and the fun. And I'm go from day one right till the very last minute of the last day. And I'm hyped about the whole thing. I love those kinds of things.
Yeah. Lots of energy. As I said, I've seen you there where you actually have brand ambassadors as well for Just Hunt. And I've seen you do pyramids, and I've seen you, as I said, do planks. And I've also seen you, encouraging other people, but I've also seen lineups just of kids and women and people. And you take the time to talk to people and that. And then, which is fantastic. But the other thing is, as you said, these children that have been there for 8 years, and you've seen them grow in that as well. Again, you're having that inspirational effect on them too. Maybe it's a little girl that's, was 8 years old when she first met you, and now she's out hunting as well. So
actually, two things I want to say.
Okay.
Remember Abby, because I'm going to come back to her.
Okay.
But I never dreamed that I would ever be in a position that I am today. But I always thought, if I was, when I've stood in line to meet somebody that was an idol or an icon to me, and they have to go through so many people, so your time is short.
Yeah.
So you get a picture, you get an autograph, and off you go. And I always said to myself, if I was ever in that position, I'd never want to be like that. I want to give. It's hard to give 300 people in one day kind of time, but I figure it out, and I try to do it the best that I can. And if I miss it and they message me on social media, I reply to everything. It might take me a day or two, but I do it. And I have reached out in the position that I am now. I've reached out to other celebrities or personalities, and it sucks when you don't get a response, you know,
Yeah.
like when you're putting together an event and you reach out to a certain person and you're like, hey, you know, I'm putting this event together. It'd be really cool if you could send some autograph cards or something like that, and you don't get a response. I never want to be that person.
Yeah.
And I've stayed true to my word, and I love talking to everybody that comes to talk to me, whether they're 4 years old or they're 90 years old. It doesn't matter. And seeing this, Abby, when I met Abby, she was 8 years old, I'm going to say, the very first time I met her. And when she first met me, she said when she grows up, she wanted to be like me. And
Awesome.
she wanted to be an M&R officer.
Okay.
So Abby is 16 now, and she got
Mhm.
accepted to Fanshawe College for the M&R.
Oh my gosh.
How
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it is pretty cool being able to watch these young girls or
Mhm.
boys grow up and do what they want to do. And
Yeah.
it's
Well, I know that you have had a hand in changing some lives, especially when you run your ladies' days.
oh my
So,
God, yes.
yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So, what
Um,
happened? How did these ladies' days come about?
I was working at Shooter's Choice in Waterloo, and girls were
Mhm.
coming in, and they wanted to learn how to shoot, and they didn't want a guy to show them. They wanted a girl to show them because they've had some poor experiences, so to
Yeah.
speak. You know, going out on a back 40 with a bunch of guys and them putting a 3.5-inch shell in a gun and saying shoot this, you know, and slamming their arm or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I had one, I had two, I had three, I had four. And I'm like, you know what? Let's make an event. So the very first event was 25 girls at the Elmira Rod and Gun Club. It went off without a hitch. It was amazing. We had 4 stations. We had 25 girls. We split them up into 4 groups and we rotated the stations. And then from then on, it was like, we got to do this again and again and again. And the one year I did 9 of them in 1 year.
Wow.
Did Bancroft, London, went all over Ontario and did them. One little girl, there's so many different women and girls stand out in my mind, but one little girl, Maya, in Bancroft in 2019, 18 or
Mhm.
19, it was right before COVID. It was 18 actually, because no, it was, you know what, I don't know, 18 or 19. Her
I
name
think it
was
was
Maya.
19. I remember. I seen photos.
Okay. Her name was Maya, and
Yeah.
she was terrified of firearms when she came in. She came in with her
Yeah.
mom, and at the end of the day, she looked at me and she said, "Amanda, when I grow up, I want to be an Olympic shooter."
Aw.
I was like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" So then I connected with her mom a little bit later, and her mom told me that she was saving her allowance to buy her purple 22 Savage rifle so that she could start practicing. And I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Then I went to TACCOM and hooked up with Dean from Select Shooting Supplies. And I was telling him this
Mhm.
story. I'm like, oh, this is such an incredible story. You need to hear this. And so together, so he had an idea and he's like, you know what, let's just make this happen for her. So it
I
was right
remember
before,
that.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
was right before I was actually flying out to Alberta that day that they were having their range day in Oxford County. And Coat of Arms was there to film, and they had sneakily got Maya and her mom to come to range day, and together with Savage and Dean and Kevin from oh my God, how come I can't remember the company? But Kevin Lavoie, myself, we presented her with her 22 purple Savage rifle and matching ear protection and eye protection, and she got to shoot it that day, and it was so exciting.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so it's stories like that. And then just this past year, Tracy Wilson had come down in October to East Gray in Meaford, and we had a lady, Lisa, who had come to the Sportsman Show and bought her first gun 4 years ago, and then was diagnosed with breast cancer, so she couldn't shoot it. And she
Yeah.
went through a really bad spell for 3 years, and they said she wouldn't make it. And then she surprised me at the October range day and came and said she was cancer free and started shooting.
That's
And
amazing. Good
she's still
story.
shooting. So yeah,
She's
there's
still,
plenty of stories.
she's still shooting.
Mhm.
So, have you heard from her lately? She's still doing
Oh,
okay?
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and she
Awesome.
actually brought her daughters to range day in April that we had the range day in April at the same place in Meaford. Tracy was at that one as well. And she brought her daughters. And that range day was amazing because my boys were there, my sister was there. It was the first time I got my sister to a range day since I've
Oh,
started. And there were so many moms and daughters at that weekend. So that was really great to see too.
wow. More generational again. Is it
Yeah,
true? Are you going to continue them?
of course I am.
Perfect. Okay. So I was thinking, oh my goodness, she's not going to continue doing these. She's getting so busy. So if people
No,
are if people are interested in having these range days, how can they get a hold of you so they can potentially either sign up or even ask you to come out to their range?
Justhunt.ca is where you can find absolutely everything. It's an easy website and it's easy to get a hold of me, and you can message me on social media. So
Perfect.
I'm not hard to get a hold of at all. Call me.
Nope. Literally in the middle of, Northern Ontario, and I'm messaging her, "Hey, sure." Anyways,
If I live somewhere that doesn't have cell service, unfortunately, it might take me a couple of days to get back in, but I will
yeah,
answer you back.
she will. Word of my honor. Anyways, so why do you think that again, you're having these ladies' days? Why do you think it's so important to have these ladies' days, get women more involved in shooting, but also women involved in hunting as well? Why why
So
why
many
do we need
different
to do this?
so many different reasons. The one that I like to point out, well, two that I really like to point out is learning. So I get a lot of messages from girls who are scared.
Yeah.
And so if you know how something works, you're not going to be scared to use it or be around it. Just like a standard vehicle. If you know how to work a standard vehicle, you know how to shift, you know how it all works, it's going to be less intimidating. So if you
Mhm.
get out there and at range days, sometimes we'll take a shotgun apart, like an 870 Remington pump, something that's easy. We'll take it apart, show you the internals, and put it back together. And that's one step closer to being more comfortable around that firearm. Same with a pistol or anything. So getting out there and learning how it works makes you more comfortable. If your husband has a safe full of guns and you're intimidated by that being there, and oh, what if something happens? Well, now you know what a bolt action rifle is, you know what a lever is, you know what a pump shotgun is, or a semi, a pistol. You kind of know the difference between all these things and what they can do and how they work.
Mhm.
Um, which is going to I've changed a lot of women's mind on firearms. I've had a lot of women come in being like, I'm just here to try this. I'm not saying nothing else. And they leave and they're like, I'm going to get my firearms license now because this was fun.
Yeah.
So
Like,
that's a big deal. It's a huge deal for our firearms industry and everyone that's involved in it. Women love to shop. Women love to talk about what they like. And they're moms. So they're going to teach their children. And their children are going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to tell their moms. And it's just going to go on and on and on and on. And it has been, I mean, for me since 2011.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. If women are getting into the sport, and that's exactly why we're doing She Shoots. So it's perfect. So about women who want to get involved and women who want to get started in hunting, what's your best advice? How can people just, or especially females, but how can they just start? What do they need?
Just get out there, find an event. I mean, there's so many women putting on range days now and different companies doing range days. Google it. There's so many different opportunities. If you want to get into hunting and you can't get a hold of, someone like me, there's OFA has a women's weekend. There's they're all across Canada. There's organizations that are dedicating women's weekends and women's range days, everywhere. So just put it out there. Just Google it and contact whoever you can, and someone is going to get back to you for sure. Sign up for the firearms course, sign up for the hunting course. Easy peasy thing to do.
Yep.
Doesn't take much. Get your licenses, and if you need someone to take you hunting,
Go into contact you. Maybe we should, we talked about, maybe we should do a group hunt with Tracy, myself, you, and anybody that message. Oh no, we're gonna have to have a lot of people. Anyways, okay.
waterfowl. We could do a waterfowl. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be great. It's great. Actually, waterfowl is a great way to introduce people into hunting too. So
It's
especially
just
that's
something to
how I
do.
got introduced.
Yeah, because you can
Yeah.
talk, you can laugh, and you can get to know each other, and then the birds come in. So
Yep.
yeah.
And you're right. There are so many great organizations out there. So if you do, if you're interested in going out hunting, and as Amanda Lynn has said, contact her. You can always contact us as well, and we'll steer you in the right direction. Um, is there anything that is there anybody that you wanted to actually give a shout out or anything? I think that we're almost done here. We need to get into and give some prizes away and different things like that. But is there anybody who you want to recognize, any of your sponsors or anything?
All of them, of course.
Of course.
Canada, number one, because without them, I wouldn't be driving anywhere. And yeah, Nitto tires, they're on my Chevy truck. They get me everywhere that I am going with it.
Yeah.
Lane Sporting Goods, they custom made my rifle for me. That's what I use. Icy Tech, they keep my meat frozen when it's coming home. Tacticam, they help me capture footage.
You
Oh,
don't people never really even think about that. Sponsor for keeping your meat frozen.
well,
Really?
yeah,
Like you wouldn't think about that, but you do when you go hunting. So
yeah, I mean, there's so many people
yeah.
in there's so many people and so many sponsors, brands, manufacturers that, 511,
Yeah.
their bags, Baffin boots, they keep my feet warm, Evo wearables, heated vest and gloves. Most of my hunting is done in -25 weather. So,
Yeah.
there's, yeah, thank you to everyone that has supported us in the past and supported the show and has been a part of it. CCFR, are you kidding me? CCFR? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of partial to the car as well. So again, um,
So and everyone is great to work with. Like
fantastic.
I love partnering with companies where you can call them any time of the day and say, hey, I have an idea, let's do this, and it works.
Yeah.
Communication is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things is you also have your own website and everything. So where can people find you on the interwebs?
Justhunt.ca is the website, but you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. Yes, I have TikTok. I'm still trying to figure that out. YouTube, Instagram. I think I'm on Snapchat, but I don't really use it. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Pinterest. If you want to know a really different side of me, go to
Go to
Pinterest.
Pinterest? Okay, I'll go I haven't seen that. I'll have to go check that out. But,
But
if anybody's sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you go to the website, there's a little bar underneath the cover photo that has all the different social media links. So you
Oh,
just click on that and it'll take you to wherever you
yeah.
want to go. Mhm.
And you have some amazing, by the way, amazing swag. I have a lot of your stuff, and have bought it, so and wear it regularly. Bear Strong's particularly, it's one of my favorites because 'cause I'm just all over the graphic T-shirt with the more of the,
The comic
it's
book
more
side.
yeah, the comic book one. Anyways, I just love it. But I have tights, I have hats, everything. So go and check out Just Hunts because not only is the product amazing to look at, but it's also great quality material and everything too. So and I love just wearing it. So go and check that out. Hmm. But
Thank
yeah, anything else before we get into giving away some draws, by the way, for some of that swag as well?
Not that I can think of, unless someone else has a question or no. I think we
Okay.
covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And let's bring in our other hosts as well. Rahina, or sorry,
Hello.
Casey. Casey, do we have any Q&A from the people that are watching? I wasn't paying attention because I was just so interested in everything that.
Not a lot of questions, a lot of comments.
Oh, perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, Rahina, then I guess it's up to you. We're going to pass it over to you so you can do the prize sponsor or the sponsor prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and why don't we just do the just hunt one? So Amanda, we kind of missed that part. Could you let us know what's involved in the prize?
So you get a sticker, a decal that you can put anywhere you want, and you can remove the .ca if you don't want to. And then I have a women's and a men's Just Hunt T-shirt. So women's
Awesome.
and men's. So I
Awesome.
before I hunt, Just Hunt T-shirts.
Awesome. Awesome. They look so great. So Casey, I guess is now on you. Who's our winner?
All right, so our first winner is Justin Green.
Hey,
Congrats, Justin.
congratulations. Okay, so for YouTube, they need your email, right, Casey?
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you win, just contact me at casey@ladyguns.ca, and we can arrange the shipping and everything, sizes and stuff too. So,
Perfect.
all right.
Okay,
So
awesome.
the second winner is, hold on a second, Jamie Lee Biggs.
Awesome.
Hey.
So we'll give Jamie a CSF t-shirt.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And are we doing a She Shoots t-shirt or saving that one for next show?
Let's do She Shoots T-shirt as well. Why not? Denise
Why
not
not?
here. We're making an executive decision.
Sounds good to me. Okay, so who's our third winner?
All right. So our third winner then is Senti W.
Awesome. Congratulations, everyone. And Casey, if you could just put your email back up so our winners can see it. And yeah, just make sure you contact Casey. We'll probably need your address, name, and
Size.
what size you want. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, so other than that, let's get on with upcoming events. So as I've mentioned before, for CSF, we don't really do much starting the summertime just because we normally tend to stick with the school semesters, right? But starting September, we'll go back to doing the shotgun league. So if you're interested in that, just before September, we'll probably start announcing it on the website, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. And I know there's tons of maple seed events coming up. Kelly?
Oh yeah, there are. So we have a maple seed event happening across the country every weekend. So um, I want to talk about QSIF events specifically. We do have a couple that are coming up in October. In London, Ontario, so at Crumlin. So if you're part of the QSIF, you will actually be able to participate in those specifically, but also in Stittsville as well, in Stittsville, Ontario as well. And I think that we're looking at some other events happening in other locations like Alberta, I think in Calgary as well. So watch for those coming out. We have a lot of our events on Maple Seed. There are on our on our website, Project Maple Seed. A lot of the events in the events listed section are sold out, but just check them out. There's a few that have just recently been added that do have spaces as well. So go and check with the website. We'd love to see you at an event. And before we move on to Lady Guns, I'd just like to say thanks again to Amanda Lynn for coming on tonight. You're one of the most inspirational ladies that I know, especially in the hunting community. And you're such a great ambassador for not only hunting, but also for women in the community. And as I said, you're somebody who I immediately thought of when we were talking about hunting and who you should have on. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being such an inspiration to everybody, including myself. So thanks for coming on tonight.
You? Thanks for having me. It was super fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. What about, I know
so much.
Deneen usually talks about Lady Guns, but Casey, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So Deneen is out in Kamloops this week and next week with me. So we are putting on a Ladies Learn to Shoot at Kamloops Target Shooters Association on the 15th. We still have a couple spots left for that one. And then on the 23rd, we're doing a Shotgun Ladies Learn to Shoot, and that one is at Kamloops Shotgun Sports. And that one is sold out. So.
Are you doing that in conjunction with somebody else? Isn't it Roses and what is it?
Guns and Wild Roses. No, we ended up We didn't get enough people to
Okay.
justify them coming out because we need to cover the costs. So
Okay.
unfortunately, it's just going to be us this time.
All right. Well, you sold it out and you got a bunch of women coming in and shooting. So that's fantastic. Good for you.
Awesome. Yes, I guess we covered everything. So, it's all 6 o'clock, so I guess I should start wrapping it up, right?
Yep.
So, I'll go ahead and once again thank our sponsors. So, thank you again to Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fun, Savage Arms, Beretta, and Vortex. If you like today's episode, please leave us a like and follow us so that you don't miss out on any of our episodes. If you liked our message and would like to learn more about our programs, check out our websites at cusf.ca, ladyguns.ca, and mapleseedrifleman.com. To support us and get some additional perks, check out our membership programs. Thank you all for tuning in to the She Shoots podcast, episode 7, Much Ado About Hunting. Don't miss out on our next episode. This club is not just for men. Our guest will be Cantac Firearms owner Amberlyn Berikoff and CSAAA Jennifer Gabois. We will chat about women in the business of firearms, so make sure to save the date on August 9th, 2022. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.